COMELEC says it will create a task force to investigate the alleged vote buying at the Uniteam sortie in Cavite. But Governor John Vic Remulla was quick to defend his act of giving away cash to attendees at the event. The PDP Laban faction led by Senator Coco Pimentel slams the CUSI wing for endorsing Bongbong Marcos. But even groups outside PDP Laban are disappointed with the CUSI faction's endorsement. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno's Acción Democrático has also criticized this move. Vice presidential candidate Rizalito David reiterates his call for a grand coalition to defeat the BBM-Sara tandem. And Davao City declares VP candidate Walden Bello persona non grata. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. Many netizens are crying foul over the blatant distribution of 1,000 peso bills at the Uniteam's campaign rally in Cavite. Marian Enriquez has the story.
Before the start of Uniteam's campaign rally in Dasmariñas, Cavite Tuesday morning, Cavite Governor John Vic Remulla was seen giving away several thousand pesos in cash prizes to audience members who participated in a portion of the political tickets program. This sparked ire among many netizens, as the incident is widely seen as a potential instance of vote buying. But Remulla quickly dodged the claims. He insists he did not violate any election rule since local campaigning has not yet started. And he is the only one on stage when the cash distribution happened.
The rally yet. Let me make this clear. My campaign starts on the 25th. I am a candidate on the 25th. Walang Uniteam nakasama sa stage. Therefore, it is my event, not yet the Uniteam rally. The Uniteam rally started only when I arrived there. So it is only on my own volition, no one else's.
COMELEC Commissioner George Garcia says this cannot be considered as vote buying unless it was given during the local campaign period. The campaign season for local posts will start on March 25.
Alam niyo naman yung mga politiko can always invoke the Piñera Doctrine. Lagi natin pinapaalala, Piñera Doctrine. Technically kasi, hindi pa start ang campaign period para sa local. Ngayon pa lang ang meron tayo national position.
But the COMELEC says they will create a task force to investigate these incidents of vote buying.
Definitely, the COMELEC naman can motu proprio investigate. The COMELEC can always direct its field personnel para mag-submit kaagad ng report sa atin. But magkakaroon tayo ng task force para mas mabilis yung kilos natin.
Yet the commission still needs a complainant for the cases to get rolling.
Sana nga may mga mag-file ng complaints. Kasi bakit po? Kailangan namin ng complaints kasi number one, under oath yon. Number two, may mga ebidensyang naka-attach doon. Kung may mga magko-complain na mga individuals, ang maganda po doon, yung mismo mga nakuhanan nila ng pictures on that date, yung mga nakuhanan nila ng affidavits ng tao on that particular date, maisasama yon, and therefore, evidence gathered during that particular incident will have credible value.
Local police said that the Uniteam's grand rally in General Trias were attended by around 70,000 supporters.
More or less, siguro mga 70 to mga ganun. Hindi natin mahirap ma-estimate. Mas marami po ngayon. Mas marami. At yung crowd po medyo nakakos pa ng traffic.
On March 4, Vice President Leni Robredo also held a grand rally at the same venue with 47,000 supporters in attendance during that day. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
The Pimentel wing of PDP Laban is slamming the move of the CUSI faction to endorse Marcos Jr.'s presidential bid. The group says the party was established to oppose the Marcos dictatorship in the first place. Bon Gualvez gives us more details in this report.
Priority of Bongbong Marcos. Just less than 2 months before the May 9 elections, the ruling party PDP Laban Kusi faction has officially endorsed the presidential candidacy of Ferdinand Marcos Jr.
Sa mga pinagpilian po, ang pinakamalapit po na magtutuloy at magtutulak ng proyekto ng Pangulong Duterte ay si dating Senador Bongbong Marcos.
13 officials signed the resolution, including Senator Bongo, who withdrew his candidacy as PDP Laban standard bearer. However, there was no signature next to the name of PDP Laban's Vice President for Visayas, Ben Everdone, who openly endorsed Marcos's closest rival, Vice President Leni Robredo. Also absent in the formal endorsement is John Castreciones, who's under Manila Mayor Isko Moreno's ticket. Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi said that he plans to talk to these members soon.
If they will abandon the party principles, if they abandon the party, that's their free choice. No, hindi naman natin pinipilit ang kung na mag-PDP sila.
The Marcos camp, meanwhile, welcomed endorsement of the Cusi faction in what they called a bandwagon of support for the BBM Sara Uniteam. On the other hand, Senator Coco Pimentel, who chairs the other PDP Laban faction, decried the move. Pimentel said the Cusi group's endorsement of Marcos only shows they are strangers to the political party founded by his father. With this, Pimentel said it's time for COMELEC to dismiss their petition against the real party. Cusi, however, rejected this notion.
Hindi na natin papatulan yan. We are moving forward kasi pagka lagi yung the past ang aming inisip at we live by the past, pa walang mangyayari sa atin. Kung bulok tayo noon, hanggang ngayon bulok pa rin tayo. Siyempre, kailangan naman umusad tayo.
Cusi also admitted that their endorsement does not mean that President Duterte is supporting Marcos Jr., adding that it must be clarified with the presidential spokesperson first. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, We're One News.
But the Cusi faction insists that PDP Laban was not just formed to go against the Marcoses. In an interview with The Big Story, PDP Laban Cusi Wing General Secretary General Melvin Matibag claimed that the ruling party was formed to uphold 5 basic principles. Matibag added that all PDP Laban members were informed of the decision to endorse the dictator's son, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. That's why they're now brushing off the remarks of their rival faction regarding their recent presidential endorsement.
Sinabi na po kanina ni Secretary Cusi na hindi napapatulan, so we'd rather leave it that way. Anyway, si Senator Coco Pimentel doesn't belong to the group na itong PDP Laban na kinikilala po ngayon.
The camp of presidential candidate Isko Moreno also cried foul over PDP Laban's endorsement of Bongbong Marcos. Aside from this just being the decision of one faction, Acción Democrático's campaign manager says this also goes against the ruling party's principles. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez gives us the front seat to the story.
Presidential candidate Isko Moreno's camp is furious over PDP Laban's decision to endorse Bongbong Marcos for president. Only the faction led by Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi made the endorsement. The other faction led by Senator Coco Pimentel slammed the move. Acción Democrático campaign manager Lito Banayo says it goes against the very principles of the party.
PDP was founded by former Senator Aquilino Pimentel. Laban, on the other hand, was founded in 1978 by no less than then imprisoned Benigno Aquino Jr. to fight the Marcos dictatorship. So how a PDP Laban can now support the candidacy of their founding father's nemesis is beyond any principled choice.
Banayo, who was also Duterte's campaign manager in 2016, had some choice words for the president.
Paano kaya ninyo malulunok ang isang kandidato na sinabi ninyong nagdodroga o nagko-cocaine, spoiled brat, hindi pwedeng maging leader?
However, Duterte was not among the signatories of the resolution, and the palace made clear that it does not mean the president's endorsement, at least for now.
Hintayin na lang po natin si Pangulong Duterte kung ano ang kanyang personal na desisyon.
Acción Democrático also continued to hit Marcos over his unpaid estate taxes. Banayo claimed that by his calculation, every Filipino who lost a job during the pandemic can get ayuda of 48,333 pesos out of that 203 billion pesos.
4.2 million people ang nawalan ng trabaho out of our workforce. Siguro naman dapat ang Department of Finance utusan na talaga ang BIR na singilin ang 203 billion na ito.
The letter hasn't been released to date, and it's unclear exactly how much estate tax the Marcos heirs are on the hook for. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez, We Are One News.
Vice presidential candidate Rizalito David says he's willing to form a grand coalition against the Marcos-Sara tandem, even if this means he would have to support another vice presidential bet. On 1PH's Sa Totoo Lang, David says he received a supposed divinely inspired message pushing him to form this grand coalition against the tandem of Marcos Jr. and Sara Duterte. David says he has already spoken to other vice presidential candidates, except for Senator Kiko Pangilinan, about this plan to form such a coalition. But he clarifies that the Grand Coalition should also choose its own presidential candidate among the rivals of Marcos Jr. And in deciding who the Grand Coalition will support, David says it will be based on survey results, which means the best candidates would be Vice President Leni Robredo against Marcos for president, and Senate President Tito Soto against Duterte for VP. David also notes that he's willing to support any other candidate just to reach the high goal of preventing the return of the Marcoses and Dutertes to Malacanang.
In the absence of any other better measure, it has to be based on those surveys.
Are you comfortable na kung magkakaroon ng coalition, ang susuportahan ng presidente ay based doon sa survey, ay si Leni Robredo, tapos based sa survey sa vice presidential naman po ay si Tito Soto.
Oo. Okay lang yun. It doesn't really matter. The more important thing and the most noble purposes would be to really defeat the Marcos-Duterte tandem. So, may higher goal tayo dito.
Let's find out where the presidential candidates are headed today. Vice President Leni Robredo is visiting Tarlac, and she'll first attend 2 mini rallies in Capas and Santa Ignacia in Tarlac. Then she will join the Tarlac Province's People's Grand Rally at the Maria Cristina Park in Tarlac City. Meanwhile, former Senator Bongbong Marcos is expected to visit parts of Quezon today. And this includes the Chaong Convention Center, the Candelaria Town proper, the Sariaya Sports Complex, and Quezon Avenue in Lucena City. Marcos Jr. will end the day with a grand rally at 2:30 p.m. at the Quezon Convention Center in Lucena. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno will be visiting the province of Laguna, and Moreno is set to attend 2 town hall meetings, one in Santa Rosa and another in San Pedro. He'll also be joining a motorcade from Santa Rosa to Binyan and then to San Pedro. Lastly, Senator Ping Lacson is expected to arrive at the Awang Airport at North Cotabato at 9 a.m. later today. He'll first attend the courtesy call with Mayor Romeo Arana before joining a town hall meeting at the Midsaya Plaza. Lacson will then travel to the provincial capital of Kidapawan City. And the lawmaker is also expected to visit several provincial officials in the afternoon. Davao City has declared vice presidential candidate Walden Bello persona non grata. This comes after he claimed that the city is the center of the drug trade in the southern Philippines. The resolution states Bello's, quote, malicious tirades discredit the efforts and commitment of the city government. The LGU also believes that Bello's attacks will impact Davao City's economic recovery efforts, especially in promoting tourism and investment opportunities. But Bello remains unconcerned and unbothered by this decision made by the so-called Davao elites. The aspiring vice president explained that the ordinary people of Davao are more important than the privileged few who, quote, sold their souls to the Dutertes. In a TikTok video, Bello, along with senatorial candidate Luke Espiritu, poke fun at Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte's absence at the debates. If Duterte can't join the debate, Bello decided he will just have to bring the debate all the way to Davao City.
Pupunta! Pinagawa ka ng billboard, no? Ano yan? Ayun na! Billboard pinagawa ka ni Sarah! Sarah, magawa ka! Oo! Ito rin tayo!
Here are the stories to watch out for later today. The Philippine Competition Commission orders Grab to release unclaimed refunds to its users. COMELEC will have another en banc session today. And basketball action continues at the PBA Governors Cup semifinals as Magnolia will square off against Meralco at 3 p.m. while NLEX plays Ginebra at 6 p.m. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again later at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We're One News.